This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY 1 month overview reading for the month of September 2024. It's currently July 15th, 2024, 12:50 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading is $562.40. That's USD. With all of our S&P 500 SPY videos, they're all free, guys. This monthly video is a good example. It shows you the public version, and it also gives you the information in the members only version that would normally be when we're looking at an equity reading or a crypto reading for a monthly overview. The information that's contained publicly in this video is a good example of what you would be getting in one of those members only videos. So stay tuned. We get into the highs, the lows. We get into the timing. Stay tuned. We get into the timing of the highest highs, the lowest lows. We talk about the best trades and what to look for as far as entry and exit, chart behavior into and out of those trades. All of that stuff in the members only version. Check it out. So for September, it looks like we've got several places where there's notable highs throughout the month. One main high and a couple places where we have some lows, and we'll get into that a little bit more detail in just a moment. The overall theme and behavior for SPY in September is going to be a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. It is crossed, however, with a big move higher out of a decline. It goes from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range. So it may very well be that we have like this sideways fluctuating rally and then we drop and then we return back to the highs that we dropped from. Okay, guys, we're trying something new here where we're going to give you a shorter form, more condensed version of a monthly with the important information, like the most important information. And then in the members version, that's where we get into specifics about timing and day by day and all of the trades and whatnot. So for SPY in September 2024, the overall trend and theme, we have a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. And then it's crossed with, out of a decline, there's a big move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range. And in the midst of doing that, we create an important trough on like a 1-year chart scale. Behavior around the high, we have bearish price swings around the highs and sharp drops off of the highs. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a fast sudden move higher out of the low. A lot of price change involved in the low with that ace of discs. So important support level on probably a 1-year chart scale and a lot of price change into or out of it. We have lows for SPY in the month of September, somewhere around that first weekend between the 6th and the 9th, somewhere around there. Highs for the month of September, looks like we probably have those. We have highs for the month of September taking place around the 4th week of the month, that 23rd through the 27th. If you want to get more specific, check out the long form video where we get into that. I'll give you guys one of the trades for the month. There's a pretty sick day trade or an over the weekend swing trade where at a trough early in the morning on the 6th, you could open up a long position in the midst of a decline and then hold that long position into the end of the day where you have this big move to the upside that'll really stand out on a 1-day chart. I would close out of it like in the midst of that big move to the upside, or you could hold it over the weekend and close out of it on the morning of the 9th. If I'm wrong about the morning of the 9th, you could close out of it on the 10th, probably towards the end of the day at an important price level. There's more trades. Check out the long form. Overall, for SPY in September, we end higher, overall bullish for the month of September. Let's take a look and see how we're doing for July thus far. So we have our first highest high thus far here on the 5th, and you can see how that took place. We have a highest high on the 5th, and we kind of flatten out. Another high. So basically showing that we're rising until we meet this high here on the 18th, on the 17th, 18th. But this has all been pretty solid, these highest highs thus far. We were off a day on the low. We had a low for the 3rd. Looks like the low ended up being on the 2nd. But a day off plus or minus a day wiggle room is what we always tell you. It can happen. Sequence of events remains accurate. And here, this reading was created on May 24th, 2024 at 1:16 p.m. Eastern or a.m. Eastern time. That's SPY for September 2024. Guys, there's a ton more information. Go check out the long form video if you're interested. There's a link to the long form in the description. If you're interested in the paid version, it's a really great way to support the channel. You're getting information in the paid version that you won't find anywhere else in the world. This is super undervalued information. Literally only place you can find it is at Tarot for Traders and the Investor Profit. What you're getting is the timing of the best trades, what type of trades to make, also what type of chart behavior to look for as far as entry and exit into and out of those trades. You get any trades from a multi-month and a multi-year standpoint, and then any price level information that we're able to extrapolate. This is super valuable information. People with the paid version are making money. So the way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, you hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, and then you want to scroll down to monthly subscription, click here to order. You can subscribe to any one of these individual crypto or ticker symbols for $2.49 a month, or you can get the all paid version, which gives you access to all of these crypto and ticker symbols for $4.99 a month. Not to mention you are also getting any one-offs, any custom monthlies that people order for that month, and any monthlies that I do that are relevant to that part of the year. So there's going to be different monthlies coming out month to month, and you would have access to all of those paid versions through the all paid version. The most popular way to support the channel, and not to mention it's a really great way to get my attention. So thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that, and let's get back into it. Okay guys, so there's some pretty solid trades. We've got a trade here on the 3rd. We come off of a peak, it looks like, and end up in a trough somewhere on the cusp of the third, fourth. I would look when we're at a key support level on like a 1 year chart scale. They're highlighted around the third. I would look to enter into a long position, and I would hold that long position until the fifth when we. Well, you could close out of it on the fourth if you have low risk tolerance when we retrace from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of the range. So we'll do like a rally on the third, a drop around the cusp of the third, fourth, and then a big move higher retracement. Then we break out through that move higher, that like where we turn around and we retrace. That's where we'll break out on the fifth, possibly our first high for the month there. In the midst of that breakout on the 5th, you could open up a short position and close that short position on the 6th early in the morning at probably a lowest low thus far. And then, like I said, there's a pretty good day trade there set in the public version. But for an over the weekend swing trade, you could open up a long position and close it first thing in the morning on the 9th. If you miss the opportunity on the 9th, because it looks like there's a lot of price change to the downside there. So if you miss the opportunity on the 9th, we probably revisit the low from the 6th there on the 9th. And then, so if you miss that opportunity to close, there should be another opportunity or possibly even a higher one towards the end of the day on the 10th. If you miss that opportunity, it looks like we declined pretty notably from that price level on the 11th and then returned back to it probably by the 12th, on the cusp of like the 11th, 12th. So we see, and those are highs for the month thus far. They're between the 10th and the 11th. But if you do time that high right and you close out at a high for the month thus far, you could also open up a short there, and you could hold that short. You might be able to get out of it early in the day on the 12th. More likely you get out of it on the 16th. There's actually a whole week here where you have some opportunity. Well, maybe not a whole week, but you could get out of that on the 16th at a key support level on a 1 year chart scale. It's highlighted there around the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. We do have another prominent peak around the 18th, 19th, and there is some possibility of another low on the 19th, but I don't think it's going to be a lowest low. It'll be a sharp decline there. But I think the highest of all of them. So I would look to close out of that short position on the 16th or the 17th when we're establishing support, probably on the 17th when we establish support, just to be on the safe side there. On the 19th, there's a lot of price change on the 19th. You could probably pull off a day trade or an overnight swing at a significant trough early on the midday on the 19th. You could open up a long, close that long the very next day in the morning. And if I'm wrong about that, you could close it early in the day on the 23rd. If I'm wrong about that, or if you have higher risk tolerance, you could hold it until the morning of the 25th or the cusp of the 24th, 25th, where we likely have the highest price level for the month. And those are the best trades for SPY in the month of September 2024. We've got highs for the month around the 25th. We've got lows for the month around the 6th and the 9th. On the first, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line. We break through horizontal resistance, meet another resistance, and then we pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. There's a significant trough or a lowest low thus far around the 3rd, 4th. We rally out of it and then return back to it towards the end of the day on the 4th, or possibly we continue rallying into the 5th and then we return back to it early in the day on the 6th. But I think it's probably the end of the day on the 4th, and then there's another big move to the upside. We break out through whatever price level we couldn't break through on the 4th. We break out through it on the 5th, creating a highest high thus far, and then there's a pretty significant decline from that high overnight into the morning on the 6th, creating that trade opportunity there where we turn around and we have a big move to the upside towards the end of the day on the 6th, possibly back to highs. High early in the day on the 9th, and then a big decline through multiple support levels, taking us back to a trough, probably the same price level that we saw on the 6th. On the 10th, we have a highest high thus far. It's an overbought crest that we sell off from pretty notably. There should be a pretty notable rally into it, it looks like, and then an overbought crest that we sell off from pretty notably through multiple supports. We then rally back to it, that resistance level that we created at that high there towards the end of the day on the 10th. We rally back to it somewhere between the 11th and the 12th, hard to say exactly, but we see the high again around the cusp of the 11th, 12th, probably on the 12th, followed by a notable decline from that, continuing into the 13th through multiple support levels. We open lower on the 16th, and there's a pop and drop there, a pop and then a drop, like a full retracement. It should highlight an important support level on a multi-day scale, or at least on a 1 year chart scale. Probably the same support that's highlighted on the 17th, and it looks like we established it as a sound foundation of support on the 17th. On the 18th, we might see it again in the midst of some volatility, but that volatility will end with a fast sudden move higher, taking us back to a prominent peak on a 1 month scale on the cusp of the 18th, 19th. It could be another high. It's possible it's a higher price level than the 10th, 11th, hard to say, but it'll be a prominent peak. And then there's a lot of price change on the 19th. Yeah, we see a significant drop into an important trough there. Probably a gap up overnight to a prominent peak. Doesn't really have the possibility so much of being a high as much as it's just a prominent peak early in the day, and then another sharp drop off of it on the 20th. On the 23rd, we likely open higher, and there's a prominent move higher, full retracement that moves sideways, fluidity on the 24th. 25th, we have early in the day most likely our highest price level, either early in the day or midday, but that should be our highest price level there, and we break through resistance, we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through it shortly thereafter with a full retracement. Be mindful not to get like there's going to be some temptation to chase the rally near the top, so be very mindful of that. On the 26th, we have sideways rotation and a big move higher. On the 27th, we attempt to establish support with some sideways rotation, and it looks like we probably have a lower day on the 27th. We successfully turn
we successfully create support on the 30th. And then in October, it looks like there's a pretty notable drop on a multi-day scale in the midst of volatility. That's SPY for September 2024, my friends. Thank you so much for supporting the channel with the paid version. Much love and appreciation goes out to you. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.